What's up, guys? Okay, we'll start with how do we get to an underhook. I'll show you a couple ways that I really like to get there. Number one, just a basic probably that everyone shows, good old fashioned club underhook. That's really simple, something to see right away from anybody. Again, it's just real simple. As you club, you give it just a little pull right there. That's gonna give you the room, boom, punch your underhook. Obviously, once you get an underhook, it's important to locate your head position and then also shift your body. So as I go punch, underhook, right, my head's gonna be a little higher, shift my head down into position, and then my lead leg, generally I want it kind of like, you see how we're toe to toe, knee to knee, kind of right in this position. And this will be maybe a little more greco-centric. They might try stepping in. I usually don't do that at all, okay? So that will be number one. Number two, reverse wrist to an underhook. So I love doing this because I usually will post here or possibly do a bicep tie. When they go to grab me here, I'll go under, right there, grab that, turn that over to a reverse wrist. From here, I can obviously shoot a lot of single legs and do other things. If I want to go to underhook, I just roll it over, boom, boom, okay? Right there. So again, one time from this side, so you can see that. So as I go reverse wrist and I roll that reverse wrist position over, all I do is I slide in and I just roll my elbow inside his elbow. Now that block, now I'll let go of this, boom, there's to my underhook, okay? And the third way that I'm going to show you the underhook was something that I did a lot of. It was a high single, okay? So all I do, I'm actually trying to get the high single, but I step to the high single and he takes his leg back, boom, slide right up to an underhook, okay? So that's three really simple ways to get there. So one more time on the last one, I'm just going to step to my underhook. Boom, step there, there's the underhook. Okay, so as he steps back again, as we get the underhook, I want you to be in position, which for me is like toe to toe, knee to knee, head and ear, this type of stuff right there. Okay? Now, before we get into talking about rear leg and front leg, one thing that's really important on both legs, and I think a lot of kids kind of neglect this point, is I need to check out his body position. And one of the things that a lot of people will do, which will make all my moves hard, is to stick their ass back. Okay? So if I get in here, boom, yep, his butt's way back, head's down like this. Anything, right, whether it's a high crotch or a throw by that I want to go to becomes significantly more difficult. So the easy answer here is just, right, there's my snap down, okay? And obviously that's both sides, right? So here, his butt's back. I gotta recognize that I can't force myself underneath him or do other stuff. Boom, kind of pull him down. And again, sometimes I'll pull here because I like this position. I can go, boom, honey badger. Obviously, sometimes, boom, I just pull all the way to the mat. Start hitting my go behind stuff. But once my opponent, you know, they recognize that their butt's back and I'm pulling them down, obviously that's really going to force them to straighten up their positioning. And so wrestling, there's always optionality, right? I can do one thing, I can do the other. And if I'm trying to force the wrong thing, when I get an underhook and their butt's back, I'm trying to force myself underneath them, generally not going to end up well. But once I start snapping them down and my opponent understands, oh hey, I can't have my butt back, because every time I get my butt back, they snap me down. They start straightening up, and then once they start straightening up, all of our offense becomes a lot better from there. So, a couple things there. We talked about how we get into an underhook. So the three ways were club, underhook, off the reverse wrist, and then off the high single, my favorite two ways. We talked about positioning, which means your elbow, your head's in their ear, toe to toe, knee to knee, kind of is what I'm looking for. And then the third thing that we talked about was making sure that our partner is not having their butt back and we're trying to attack from there. Because if we have an underhook and their butt's back and we want to go underneath them, it's not going to work out all that well for us. So we have to make sure we snap them down. Once they acknowledge that we can snap them down, their position has to straighten up, and now all of our offense becomes better. So the next step we'll divide it by lead leg and trail leg, because I think that's really relevant. But obviously keep in mind on both of those that they don't have their butt back anymore, right? Because if they have their butt back, it's going to be hard for a second, but we've already addressed that. The butt's back, we are going to snap them down. That's what we're going to go to. Okay, so that's what we covered in this segment. Next thing we're going to do is our trail leg underhook and how we attack from that position.